Imagine discovering that the wealthiest families in history hid secrets so dark and manipulative they could shatter economies overnight. Secrets involving hidden fortunes, ruthless betrayals, and shocking scandals that make today's billionaires look tame. What if I told you that one overlooked financial move led to the downfall of empires, while another quietly built indestructible legacies? Stick around because by the end of this video, I'll reveal the jaw-dropping twists that could change how you handle money forever, exposing the horrifying traps most people fall into without even knowing. You won't believe the chilling examples from real history that prove the system isn't just unfair, it's engineered for your failure. Watch till the end. The most explosive revelations are saved for last. In a world where financial independence seems like a distant dream for the majority, it's not due to a lack of effort or intelligence. The framework of society is crafted to maintain a delicate balance, keeping individuals occupied, bewildered, and sufficiently content to avoid uprising. By the moment realization dawns that the odds are stacked against them, opportunities have often slipped away, primarily because the fundamental principles were never shared. Conventional advice pushes for strict budgeting, relentless work ethic, property ownership, and stock market participation, framing liberation as a simple outcome of self-control. Yet, self-control by itself falls short. If it were sufficient, dedicated professionals like caregivers, educators, and industrial laborers who meticulously save throughout their careers would all end up prosperous in retirement. Reality paints a different picture, and the core issue lies not in personal dedication but in intentional systemic architecture. Please subscribe to our channel. It means the world to us and really helps us keep creating more content like this. Thank you so much. True financial autonomy extends beyond mere currency. It encompasses authority over one's schedule, decision-making power, and a safeguard against uncertainties. It's the capacity to decline unreasonable demands from employers, financial obligations, or unexpected setbacks. Such empowerment isn't distributed freely, it's deliberately built. To achieve it, one must first grasp the barriers that impede progress. Tracing back through time reveals patterns. For centuries, prosperity centered on territory ownership, which provided sustenance and thus influence. In feudal times across Europe, the vast majority toiled on estates belonging to others, bound by obligations, payments, and the constant threat of scarcity. This setup echoes modern predicaments in subtle ways. As the era of mechanization dawned, individuals shifted from agrarian bonds to salaried positions. Factories supplanted farmlands, yet the underlying structure persisted. Extended labor for minimal sustenance, fostering ongoing reliance. The following century introduced the concept of an intermediate socioeconomic group, with earnings adequate for home purchases, family support, and potential later life ease. However, genuine independence remained elusive, as educational systems, job markets, and societal norms around consumption were engineered to perpetuate cycles of income and expenditure. Today, in this advanced age, efficiency has surged dramatically thanks to innovations, but compensation for the average worker has plateaued. The once stable intermediate tier is contracting, while essentials like shelter, medical care, and learning have become exorbitantly priced. Borrowing has evolved into a norm, encompassing educational loans, plastic card balances, vehicle financing, home mortgages, and health-related charges. Statistics show the typical household in the United States shoulders more than $100,000 in accumulated obligations, and that's merely the midpoint. Consider who gains when a large segment of the population is perpetually repaying. Layer on the subtle erosion of purchasing power through rising costs, where currency's value diminishes significantly over decades. Proposed remedies often involve increasing monetary supply or reducing borrowing rates to boost activity, but these actions primarily elevate the worth of holdings like equities, properties, and raw materials. Those already possessing such resources see their affluence multiply, widening the gap for those starting from scratch. This mechanism isn't an accident, it's the core driver of the economic model, fueled by liabilities, smoothed by value depreciation, and upheld by widespread misunderstanding. The narrative cleverly shifts responsibility inward. Insufficient savings become personal shortcomings, homeownership barriers stem from inadequate ambition, and constant financial strain arises from poor planning. External factors are rarely scrutinized, while solutions are marketed as tools, seminars, or goods that reinforce the same constraints. Here's where discomfort intensifies, yet insight deepens. Achieving liberation demands more than earnings, it necessitates advantage. Most individuals remain stuck trading hours for paychecks, whereas true prosperity flips this equation, allowing capital to generate returns independently, rendering personal involvement elective. This shift from manual input to strategic positioning is the essence of emancipation, yet it's seldom emphasized in standard guidance. Many find themselves in a loop that mimics advancement but delivers stagnation. Secure employment, accumulate debts, purchase via installments, elevate living standards, pursue advancements, fulfill fiscal duties, and hope for eventual respite. Beyond the burdens, the entanglements they create are profound. Dependence on regular income stifles bold moves. Financed lifestyles limit refusals, and self-worth linked to acquisitions ensures perpetual labor to uphold fabricated ideals. Contrast this with those at the pinnacle, who operate under alternate guidelines. They possess rather than perform, outsource tasks, and harness growth through reinvestment. They master fiscal regulations, exemptions, protective entities, and corporate setups, planning across generations rather than cycles. Crucially, they maintain obscurity around these tactics, ensuring others don't adopt similar approaches. Educational curricula omit lessons on advantage creation. Media rarely clarifies how value loss favors the elite, and passive revenue streams are portrayed as fantasies rather than staples of enduring affluence. Instead, society promotes narratives of constant striving, image curation, and false equality of opportunity. It's an endless pursuit disguised as aspiration, with burnout addressed through services, stimulants, or brief escapes, never root causes. At its heart, this pursuit of autonomy represents defiance against reliance, a dismissal of exchanging vitality for imposed visions. Rebellion requires comprehension, making informed learning essential for self-determination. It begins with probing inquiries. Track monthly outflows precisely. Assess how much revenue depends on direct effort and strategies to alter that ratio. Identify abilities that scale exponentially. Pinpoint holdings that yield ongoing returns. Equally vital is elimination. Shed costs, outdated beliefs, and habits tied to ease or validation that hinder escape. Authentic prosperity involves not merely accumulation but reduced necessities, strategically, where conserved funds seed future growth rather than represent sacrifices. Perspective plays a pivotal role here. Typical reactions to finances are passive, while liberated individuals architect proactively. They establish reserves, foresee fluctuations, discern true worth from superficial costs, and prioritize enduring over immediate. They avoid speculative pursuits, opting for resilient stances. Evidence from the past supports this. Enduring lineages preserved holdings through tangible resources like estates, enterprises, and creative rights, elements yielding consistent output amid economic shifts. They transmitted not only wealth but frameworks, outlooks, and advantageous placements. In opposition, the masses were conditioned into consumption patterns: acquire income, disperse it, cycle anew. Gratitude for employment is encouraged, stigma for unemployment enforced, with borrowings normalized for advancement, mobility, and residence. Questions about beneficiaries, creation processes, or rationales are discouraged. Despite increased exertion, rewards diminish. Yet, inquiry signals awakening, the initial breach in deception. Moving ahead practically lacks spectacle or instant gratification, but authenticity endures. Initially, minimize vulnerabilities by trimming reactive elements, perhaps simplifying accommodations, divesting transports, or relocating affordably. Each regained flexibility equates to reclaimed strength. Next, cultivate productive elements. Hone marketable talents, develop scalable ventures, select holdings that deliver nocturnal gains. Even cultivated connections qualify as valuable. Emphasize extended horizons and persistent multiplication. Then, safeguard cognition. Avoid immersion in sensational updates, promotions, exaggerations, or anxieties. Delve into precedents, grasp mechanisms, recognize motivational drivers. Heightened composure and inquiry reduce susceptibility to influence. Finally, disseminate understanding. Genuine influence expands through sharing. As awareness spreads regarding operational mechanics, transformations ensue. Ultimately, widespread lack of financial liberation stems not from inherent incapacity but from withheld pathways. Scripts were provided as reality, with deviations discouraged. Alternatives exist. Forge fresh narratives commencing with awareness, progressing to mastery, culminating in liberty. Not illusory, but tangible. The sword enabling daily choices, buffering against disruptions, transforming currency into an instrument rather than oppressor. Challenges abound, yet feasibility persists. Initiation is immediate. If this shifted your viewpoint, consider subscribing. We'll explore historical insights further.